with ain'titcool.com, talking with Ed, Terry, Malloy, Travis. Just got out of Snitch, The Rock's newest film. Ed, what'd you think?
Yeah, this is more Dwayne Johnson's newest film.
Yeah.
To be honest, a little underwhelmed by Snitch. It's kind of like a drama.
Straight up.
Yeah, I mean, there's some bullets shot, there's some car crashes, but like it's sort of a real long episode of Law and Order.
Yeah, that feels pretty apt. We sat through the credits, and it was based off an episode of Frontline from PBS, a documentary. The basic plot: Dwayne Johnson, his son goes to prison because he accepted a package from a friend with lots of pills in it, and to gain his release early, he does a deal with the chief prosecutor, Susan Sarandon, and if he snitches on some bad guys, they'll let the son out early.
Right. Yeah, and I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, they constantly hit you with it's based on a true story, but a lot of it, it just seemed like almost far-fetched and silly and odd.
Right. Well, I'm underwhelmed. It sounds like you might be the same.
Oh yeah.
Like, what did anything work for you? Was anything clicking?
No, the few action sequences there were, like there's one at the very beginning involving a foot race, and it looks like the whole thing was shot on a GoPro camera, and it's just shaky, and it just felt kind of amateurish. And then you get into these long scenes of dialogue that are just bland and generic, and there were times that the audience laughed when they shouldn't have been laughing,
right?
Which was kind of hard to sit through, considering I'm really pulling for The Rock. I want a good badass Rock movie, and this isn't it.
Yeah, this is not it. But I'm like on the Rock train.
Yeah.
Like I really am, and I think that against all logic and reason, there's this part of me that feels like he pulled off the everyman in this movie, which is a little weird because you can't ignore, like, he's wearing this button-down shirt at the beginning, and it's like he's inhumanly sized. Like he's this massive hunk of meat, and like no one makes any mention of it. It's just like The Rock. This could have been someone else, and probably should have been someone else starring in this movie. You got the the poster has this like ripped up shredded Rock with like a 18-wheeler behind him. Yeah. And that's not this movie at all. But all that said, I mean, like, I kind of like The Rock almost as an everyman. I don't know, maybe like if it was more like Total Recall style, where he was supposed to kind of pull off an everyman, but then it like morphs into something else. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, like you're watching The Rock being an everyman in a crazy situation.
Right, yeah.
And the situation here is almost too grounded to be that crazy over-the-top situation.
Yeah, I mean, he is an everyman in this movie, and then in Act 3, it's like, oh, all of a sudden he's going to be smarter than everyone else, and he's going to be able to, like, up the game and everything. And it's almost like, I was going to say, as I was watching this film, I was like, at least it's got an even tone. Like, it's pretty much knows what it is. But even that, it's sort of, like, amped up in that third act into like a little bit of a weird, like, hyper real situation with The Rock, like, playing cat and mouse and being smarter than everyone.
But he wasn't smarter than everyone else. The plan doesn't make any sense at the end. I don't want to spoil anything in case you really want to see The Rock in a fairly boring movie, but it didn't make any sense. It put himself in more danger. And I still don't understand. I don't want to spoil it. But he has some really good people on screen with him.
Yeah, like disproportionately so.
Yeah.
This cast is pretty spectacularly populated. Yeah, by some really great actors, and it's a little weird. Like, we were wondering if they got the script.
Yeah, like Susan Sarandon like goes over the top in her kind of I'm a bitchy prosecutor DA role. Right. Yeah. But then you have like a really kind of strange awe-inspiring performance by Barry Pepper, like channeling Willie Nelson as a as a DEA guy. I mean, like every time he came on screen, it was ridiculous. But it brought a spark to some of these really drab scenes.
Right, Barry Pepper managing to have even gnarlier facial hair in this film than he did in True Grit, which is something to be said.
Yeah.
I think Barry Pepper is sort of bringing a level of acting, like character acting, to this that the film doesn't necessarily deserve. And I would also say there's like a second star of this movie, which is the actor who plays Shane on The Walking Dead. His name's John Bernthal.
Yeah.
He's, in my opinion, leagues above anyone else in the cast of The Walking Dead. I feel like he's bringing something to The Walking Dead that's like on a whole different level than anyone else. Almost distractingly. Like, I feel like he's a really good actor. Like, I don't even want to say the word Brando here, but he's definitely got a little method thing going on.
Yeah.
And I think he pulls it off in this movie. He's like the second lead of this film. He's like this, he's kind of like, The Rock sort of brings him into this little thing against his will, kind of. He's like this recovering, or he's an ex-con.
Yeah.
And again, he's kind of, I don't know, he is an everyman as well, although he's got this baggage, this ex-con baggage, and he's sort of unfairly brought into the whole thing, which sort of makes The Rock's character a bit of a dick in some ways to me. Like, he brings this guy in, and it's like, he seems like a totally together guy. He's trying to bring his, get his life together, but either way, that guy is bringing something, like, to a movie that's, like, it's beneath him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And, yeah, he has, like, just a power about him in some of his scenes, and in many ways it's kind of hard to watch, and the movie does a terrible job of like pitting you against him, because he really is a messed up guy who's trying to get himself out of the situation, but at the same time he messes up and gets back into the thing he said he would never get back into, and really, I mean, kind of screws over his family. Yeah, in trying to help. So, I mean, there's some duality to it, but I don't think I just don't think it was really all that exciting to watch, or it was pulled off all that well.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you there. I don't feel upset that I just sat there and watched it. It's clearly being marketed as an action film, and is clearly not. I do feel like it's kind of got a Law and Order vibe to it, and it's also a bit of a message movie. Like, they're really digging into like sort of the drug cartel, the drug war. It's clearly, I mean, hey, I don't think the drug war is going all that well. I'm not sure we're winning that one. Right. But it's sort of like hits you over the head with just kind of how broken the system is, and I don't know. It's not a powerful exploration of the drug war, but it's sort of like everyone thought that's the movie they were making. Yeah.
It felt like a real lightweight, like Traffic or 21 Grams. Like it was. It really thought it was being that impactful. But,
right. Yeah. And yeah, it's a February movie. Yeah. That's really what I feel like. I feel like the studio must know what they've got here. They're putting it out in February. They're putting The Rock on the poster with his shredded forearm and the semi truck behind him. But it's a February movie. It's, maybe didn't reach the goals that they set out for with this kind of serious drama element. A lot of people on screen brought their A game. Some of them didn't. And it's just kind of a mixed bag all around. Yeah. I'd say that bag is mixed more with negativity. Yeah. I'll go there with you. But yeah, but those are just our thoughts on Snitch. What do you think? Leave your comments below and keep checking in with ain'titcool.com for more news, reviews, and interviews.